Hello, today I'm going to demo how to make a lidded container. My name is Sherry Smith. First, you want to start out with a piece of PVC pipe. I like to use PVC pipe as a rolling pin instead of a rolling pin. It's cheaper, it works better. So what you want to do, if you have plastic, the clay will stick to it. So you have to put a piece of newspaper around it. So I just take one sheet, place it in the center, and roll it up, and then tuck the ends. And now I'm ready to go. I also have several sheets of newspaper because what will happen is as we use the newspaper, it'll rip and there'll be moisture. So I'm going to take a piece of fishing line as my wire cutter, and I'm going to cut off just a chunk of clay. All right. I'm going to do that a couple times. All right. Ooh, and it's so nice. It looks like chocolate. All right. Set that aside. Okay. Then I'm going to take two painter sticks, place it on either side of the clay. If the clay comes straight from the bag, it will be kind of soft, but you don't really have to wedge it. If you get recycled clay, you do need to take it, wedge it before you do this. All right, so I'm going to take this PVC pipe and I'm going to roll and flip. And the pieces, the yardsticks or painter sticks, prevent the clay from getting any thinner than 1/4 of an inch. And my clay is kind of big, so I'm just going to cut some of it and hold this off to the side. Okay, so we're making 6 sides, so you're going to want 6 slabs. And this is going to be a rather lengthy demo because a lidded container has many steps to it. So then you need to take a rib. You could use a wooden rib. I like to use like a Kroger card, and you want to smooth out and compress the clay, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, and diagonal. And then you flip it and repeat that step. I'm not going to do that in its entirety, just to shorten this demo a little bit. Okay, so I have this one slab ready, so I'm going to set that off to the side. And I'm going to take the other one. Now, this clay is a little soft, which means that you're going to have to allow the clay slabs to dry out a little bit in order for them to stiffen up, so that way they can withstand being held up like this. Because if we try to hold this up now, it's gonna fall apart, and you'll see more of that in a little bit. So what I would do is roll out all these slabs and take a board or a piece of drywall board, take plastic, okay, then take the slab, place it down, then hold this off to the side, then take another slab, prepare it, and then you say to yourself, well, how do I know I've rolled this out enough? If I just smack this down, and see that dent there? That means I need to keep rolling. And it's a real physical thing, rolling out slabs. You have to put your whole body into it. Okay, flip and roll, flip and roll, flip and roll. Okay, then if I'm going to hold on to these to let them stiffen up, I would take another bag, place it on top of this slab, and then, you know what, I can get 2 slabs out of this. Cut that, place this here, and then another piece of plastic, and put this on top. So now that's 3 slabs. Okay, so I want a total of 6. So I set that off to the side, and I roll out some more clay, and I'm going to show you the first part to make a lidded container. And that is condition it, do the 6 slabs. Then you're going to need to cut your slabs to size. So we have conditioned by we smoothed out the slab, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, flip, repeat. All right, then I say to myself, self, what size container, the functionality of this piece? Okay, do I want a long lidded container? Do I want a small one? So I'm just going to cut and think smarter, not harder. So you don't want to pick this up, rotate your newspaper. Okay. Cut. Cut. And cut. Okay. All right, now, so I have this, I didn't measure it. Then I take another slab, okay, and I want to hold it up to the side, and I'm just going to put a little mark where I need to cut it, okay. Place this down. I'm cutting. Notice that I'm cutting here. This is what I want, but I'm cutting away in case I accidentally cut my clay. I'm not cutting the part that I'm going to use. Okay. And as you can see, it's going to be a short box because it's at an angle here, so I'm going to need to cut down here. So right here, notice that when I'm measuring it, it's perfect, okay? And then I'm just going to cut the top off, make it kind of short. All right, so this is one side, okay? And then what I do is I just lay it next to it, okay? Then I take my next slab, okay? And this is rather big, so I'm just going to cut it in half, okay? And so I have this, and I'm just going to hold it up to the side here. It gets a little tricky. And I'm going to just put a little line of where I need to cut it. Now I'm sure math people would cringe at this because I'm eyeballing it, and some people would be like, oh, you need to measure that. Okay, whatever. And so that's matched up perfectly. Then I want to take this slab, and I want it to be the same height. So I'm going to place it on top of here and put a little hatch mark. Now, don't be wanting to cut corners and to go ahead and cut it right away. You don't want to do that. Put little hatch marks, then remove this slab, put it back in the spot. I put little hatch marks, and then take your stick, and so that way you get a nice clean cut. Okay. And now I know this. Uh-oh, what did I do? This is the cut the wrong part. Ah! So mistakes happen. And I cut the wrong part. That happens. So if that happens, you improvise, adapt, and overcome. All right. All right, here we go. This is looking a little better. Okay. All right. I got distracted. That's okay. All right, now we have this side. So I leave that there. Now I have this little chunk of clay, which actually is absolutely perfect for this 2/4 side. right, so I need one more side, and I've run out of clay. So that happens. I'm going to take these slabs and set them off to the side. Okay. I could take these scraps, wedge them together. For the sake of time, I'm just going to take this chunk of clay and I'm going to roll out. Oh, I'm ripping the newspaper. Newspaper's ripped, but I have another piece underneath, so I don't have to like set it up. I can just take it and roll it with a fresh piece of newspaper. Okay, flip it. All right, and you take your rib and you smooth it vertical, horizontal, diagonal, diagonal. For the sake of time, I'm going to skip that step. Okay, I'm cutting this in half to make it more manageable. And now I'm going to bring back over my slabs. Okay. Okay. Get my ruler. Okay. Now I'm going to measure the side. Okay. I have my little marks. I'm going to take my stick, line it up, cut, line it up, cut. Okay, there we go. Perfect. And then the top, I'm going to have you hold off on the next one. But what I want you to do is roll out a piece for the top. So a lidded container, you're going to have 6 sides. Top, bottom, side, 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 side. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this is the important part. Take your board and you're going to place your slabs. And if you want to, you can even write on here, like B for bottom. So that way you remember the order of this. Or even take a picture of it. That's even better. So, or you can, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You could take a little piece of newspaper. Okay. Place it on the slab. So that way these slabs don't stick to each other. Don't want to use too much newspaper because the newspaper will then absorb moisture from the slabs. It's okay to do like a little piece because we want some of the moisture to go away so that way these stiffen up. We want these to stiffen up because we want them to stay upright without being loosey-goosey how they are right now. See how they're like loose? Once this clay stiffens up, they'll be able to go upright. So a lidded container will not be successful with soft clay. Will not. Okay. Another piece of newspaper. I'm making a newspaper clay sandwich. Okay. Like so. But I started with a board that's wrapped in plastic. Then, to store this, take another bag. And if I just put a piece of, if I just put plastic like this and I have air getting to it, when you come back to these slabs, they'll be all dried out. So you really have to make sure that you might need a couple Kroger bags. You really need to make sure that it's wrapped up. So there's newspaper in there that's absorbing a little bit of that moisture to make the slab stiffen up a little bit, but we have plastic to prevent it from drying out too quickly, if that makes sense. Okay, so you can even use a piece of drywall board. You could use a plastic tray, but again, you need to wrap it with plastic, especially the drywall board. This absorbs moisture really quickly. So that's the first step in setting yourself up for success on making a lidded container. And we'll have part 2 later on. Thank you for joining us.